a conversation with Jason, the kid who has been dating his so-called girlfriend now for about a year and a half, and they spend all the holidays together, her birthday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. On Valentine's Day, he took her out to dinner and gave her a dozen roses. And now she wants a promise ring, and he seems confused. Now, I must tell you that I told Jason he had no game. And that's why he needs to keep this going without telling this woman the truth, because if he had game, he'd have hot chicks all the time. And when he wanted them to get the hell out, they would get the hell out, and that would be it. There'd be no rings, no ring shopping, no discussing it, no expenses on Valentine's Day. My God, who takes a booty call home to meet mom and dad? Think about that. You're kidding me, right? And my booty calls don't meet my friends. And it's not because I'm ashamed of my booty calls. As a matter of fact, over the years, have thought very highly of many of them. Some of them are hot, hot, hot. But the booty calls get the idea that they are somehow more than booty calls. When they meet family and friends, when they spend important holidays with you. And for me, it's a big pain. I don't know. I've had a very hard time, and it isn't for lack of trying. I've had a very hard time over the years getting rid of women, even after telling them, this is over. I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't want to be in this relationship. This isn't a relationship for me. I'm just dating you. This is never going to develop into anything more. I've said all of these things. I've been very graphically specific. And the reason is because it's just impossible to get rid of some of these chicks. Especially if you are rich and successful, as I am. It's impossible to get them to leave. And you may find that hard to believe, but it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. But the reason I know about what Jason's doing is because years ago, many years ago, before I figured out all my own rules through trial and error, I did the exact same things he's doing. I took girls home. Are you kidding? I used to just, nothing I loved better, because my parents, were old-fashioned from another era. Nothing I loved better than take some girl I was banging and bring them to my parents' house and then making my mother make up the guest bed. Just because I was into shocking her. Like I like to shock you. I was into shocking Mom. Mom would be ready to set up 2 separate beds. I go, no. Just set up 1 guest room. That'll be fine. And Mom would dutifully get the job done, realizing that this bed was going to require some serious laundry to be done after I was done using it. I particularly enjoyed that. And I remember how these women who came home to visit my parents, these women actually thought this had meaning. They would meet my siblings, they'd meet my parents, and they actually thought this meant I cared about them. And in reality, I was just doing it for my own fun. But somewhere along the way, I realized there were certain things I was doing with women that gave them the idea that I gave a crap when I didn't. And then it became impossible to get rid of them. So it became necessary for me to stop doing those things. Not buy them gifts. Not buy them flowers. Not buy them chocolates. Not buy them champagne. Not buy them dinner when I could avoid it. Or if we had to eat something, not buying anything expensive. Not taking them on expensive trips. Every one of these things you do leads women to believe you care. And you see, I'm not advocating that you lie to them. On the contrary, I'm advocating that you let them know for sure that you're a player, and there's plenty of chicks where she came from, and you do not need to tell a woman you're in love in order to have sex with her. You just don't need to do that. There are women from my recent past who I have had sex with. They know that essentially it was sex and maybe a little conversation, and that was all they were going to get. Some of them left in a huff. Some of them kept coming. Some of them would still show up if I called them tonight. This idea of letting chicks think you love them in order to get sex is more trouble than it's worth. You're better off telling them you're rich, or you're a producer, or you're a screenwriter. When you start telling them you love them, they're impossible to get rid of. And at some point you want to get rid of them. You don't want them calling. You don't want them coming over. You don't want them asking what you're doing for Thanksgiving. You don't want them coming to your door uninvited. You're much better off telling them you don't give a crap. And if you have game and you have confidence, a certain percentage of them will continue to come around. Some won't. Many will. I don't understand you guys who tell chicks you love them, or spend important holidays with them, or birthdays, or worst of all, they'll come up with some date, they'll call your anniversary. And that's essentially the date the two of you first had sex. They'll pick that as the anniversary date in the absence of a wedding. That will be your anniversary. Then they'll expect to see you every anniversary, or expect to see you, go out with you every anniversary, or they'll expect that you're going to make a big deal about that. When in reality, you probably popped 3 chicks that week. It was no big deal to you.